Hello and welcome once again. We are back with Act 4, Scene 3 of our wonderful book, The Samaritan. I hope you've been able to look at the other acts, the other scenes, because we've covered, this is the last scene in this book. So kindly, if you're new here, take a moment and look at the other work we've done. Take a moment and look at the Fathers of Nations. Take a minute and look at the Parliament of Owls. My name is Teacher Martha. Now, and just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't shared, if you haven't commented, please go ahead. I would really appreciate when you do that. Now, we are looking at the meeting that we left when people are preparing to go for the meeting to see Nicole. And we are taken now to Madame Narine. And she has called for Madame Nicole, and the discussion is not funny anymore. She's not amused, and she's not happy. She says, "Now you must know now that I'm completely fed up." And Nicole is wondering, "What did I do?" My sincere apologies. He says, "Do I look like your house girl? Do I look like your secretary? Am I a firefighter here? Because I can't seem to do anything else in this school. All that I'm doing is to fight your battles, is to receive your visitors, is to receive your calls. For how long are we going to do that?" And actually, she gets a bit abusive. She says, "You think I was employed here to receiving phone calls from municipal leaders informing me that they are coming to see you?" And of course, now that she says, "Do you ever care? Do you ever care to know what battles I am fighting to ensure your safety and defend the school's position? I am now being threatened and I am fed up. Do you think I am employed to be a firefighter?" Now, that is your principal. I don't think that's a very interesting situation to be with your boss. And so she goes ahead and says, there is nothing that will be happening in this school except receiving municipal leaders coming to see you. And I will never think about anything else beyond the safety of a young, ambitious girl who has no idea what danger she's putting herself into. You think that is fair to me, to the students, to the school? Do you think the life of school is all about the app? Okay then, go ahead and go on and upload all of us in the app. Yeah, she's also being dramatic now, but I hear her. Remember, we said she's how old? She's 55, and she does not want to lose her pension. She doesn't want to lose her hard-earned years in service because of some ambitious girl and because of some stupid app. She does not want that. She's like, what is this about this app? I personally cannot allow myself to be going through that. But Nicole says, "What should I do, madam?" And says, "I told you to think of something. You need to think." Then she says, "The app will not change anything." Can you imagine how pessimistic? The struggle for good governance stretches as far back as the beginning of human history. And after all those years of management of public affairs, is much worse today than it has ever been. Our forefathers were slaves to white people. Today we have been enslaved by our very own people. Can you imagine a whole principal telling a junior staff that way? I don't see why you're bothering yourself so much about this app, because, by the way, we are not the first people to go through crises of leadership and mismanagement and corruption and all the problems there are. It's been a problem all our lives. Since the beginning of the human history, this has been a problem. After all those years of management of public affairs, has been getting worse and worse. In fact, earlier it was better when you're being handled by white people. Now we have our own very people enslaving us. And so why would you imagine that you're going to save a situation that has been as old as history? And she continues to say, I have said it several times, that a bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists. And if you can't turn the wind, turn the sail. That is very brilliant idea. The only problem is the application of the same does not sound very brilliant to Nicole. She says, you're not as wise. If you're a bamboo that does not bend, you're not as strong. But the one, if you're an oak that will resist, you're not as strong as the bamboo that bends. So, and it says, you can't turn the wind. You need to turn the sail. You know what a sail is? Is that cloth that they use for ships in the sea, in the ocean, when they are traveling. So the sail is the one that the wind uses. It's the one that directs the ship into whatever direction. So she says, if you can't turn the wind, then turn the sail. Turn that cloth so that the wind will direct the ship into the direction you want. And then Nicole says, I love this girl. She says, what do you mean, Madam Principal? You prefer we resign ourselves to slavery? Would you rather we let the plunder of public resources continue unchallenged? That means she's persistent, she's firm, she is quite something. And Narine is mad. She says, don't give me headache, young girl. They are all coming. You will discuss with them what you prefer. Personally, what I know is that I have a duty to the students under my charge. And if you don't think of this way, I will have no choice but to personally, I found this very funny, I will personally grab you by your pants. Okay, pants means trousers. And I will hound you out of my vicinity through the nearest available opening. Now, do you understand? Now, that does not mean that she'll be thrown outside the gate. It means that when I transfer, I will actually seek to transfer you and take you somewhere else. And you know, most of us teachers, you don't want to be transferred because sometimes you may be transferred unless you want. But just a transfer randomly, sometimes it's not very interesting because it may take you away from family, take you from friends, take you away from your business or something, or the things that you care for. So she's being threatened that if you don't stop this, I will actually get you out of this the soonest possible, the nearest available opening. And then while they are doing that, she says, and I promise you, she can hear people coming in, I promise you, I will not sit in that meeting. It is not part of my mandate. Where? She does not want jokes. And so she leaves. Of course, we can see the others coming in, and she excuses herself. That is on page 131. She excuses herself. She says, your worship, honorable gentlemen, as you requested, I have arranged for your meeting with Teacher Nicole. I had planned to attend to other crucial school matters today. I will not, therefore, be able to sit with you. I do hope, however, this is very important, I do hope, however, that you will have a conclusive meeting so that we can avoid future meetings that disturbs the smooth running of the school. Thank you. So even her, she's fed up. She's saying, I hope this is the last meeting we're having because your presence here, it is disturbing us. And then Bembe, of course, they settle down. And Bembe is the first one to, Jaden, of course, tell on behalf of my colleagues, I beg your pardon for intrusion. Bembe begins, I would like to apologize to Nicole for the misunderstanding. Of course, now he wants to apologize for arresting her. And Nicole says, well, I am sorry. I accept your apologies. And I also apologize if I offended you, offended any one of you. That's a good place to begin for a meeting. At least there is peace, there is a truce, there is apologies. It's a good start. We are happy, hoping that we'll get somewhere. And so they go ahead and tell her what she wants. Before they even, Judge Jaden opens his mouth to start talking because he was the spokesman. Ted, you remember Ted? Ted was very happy about Madame Nicole's beautiful legs. Then he was also very happy and said how, siju what. Now Ted says, I have seen you several times, but I'm afraid I am not well acquainted with you. I am pleased to offer you this present. Walks over to Nicole and offers her a golden ring. When did even this guy buy a golden ring? See, they have just come from the meeting, come direct to school. So he stopped somewhere to buy a ring. For what, you know? And declining, of course, nicely. Oh, thank you, but I don't wear them. My apologies. There is a brief awkward moment. Justice Jaden clears his throat. Then removing his eyeglasses and fiddling with them in his hands, he speaks. That is what he does most of the times. And of course, now they start explaining to them, to her, why they have come, what they think, and all those things. You can read that on page 132 and 133. And of course, we realize that this ship, that's our municipality, will sink unless we engineer and the desired change. That is Basdeo speaking. Of course, a lot of hypocrisy where he says, we recognize the truth that serious mistakes have been made in the leadership. The matters have now come to a head. We realize, you know, and he says, Mosi says, Mosi feels like Basdeo is blowing things out of proportion. He says, things are not as bad, but we will appreciate your contribution in enhancing service delivery to the people. So can you see how they're trying to lure her and seduce her into accepting their getting into their leadership and getting into their discussions? And Nicole says, I am actually willing to play a prominent role. I owe Maracas municipality and our country a whole civic duty. I am ready to work with patriotic citizens to enhance transparency and accountability in the management of public affairs. Now, they actually start thinking that, oh, this girl actually, it was to be that easy. Why were we even worried? She said she's willing to work with us. A prominent role. She would be happy. She's ready to work with patriotic citizens. So Mosi is very happy. Thank you very much. We welcome you to welcome your offer to work with us. We want change in which public resources will no longer be stolen, in which justice will be served and not reserved for the rich, in which the police will stand with the innocent and not the crooks and the lawbreakers, and in which lawmakers will protect and promote the public interest rather than feathering their own nest. Can you imagine who is talking? It's Mosi saying, this is what we need. And he's forgetting that he's actually among the people who are served, the rich who are served by justice. And he's among the people who are crooks and lawbreakers and does not promote the public interest, and is the one who is very busy feathering his own nest. And so Nicole says, I agree. A new era in which each one of us will be a good Samaritan, our brother's keeper. I agree with you all entirely. And they are happy. They're like, wow, now we have gotten her with us. And Basdeo and Ted, I think both of them are mad. But Basdeo says, from nowhere, she says, perhaps I can be a co-mayor. Yes, moving forward, we must now craft the change we need in the leadership of our municipality. Imagine he's the leader of opposition. He says this in the presence of Nicole, says, perhaps I can be a co-mayor, very close, but not entirely equal to the mayor. Almost there, though. Now, what we need to know is the senior position you would like to occupy. Now, that is a game changer. Nicole is wondering, wait a minute, what did you talk about? Are you talking about a position I would like to occupy, a senior position? Who told you I'm interested in a position? She said, I quite don't understand. And so Jordan tries to step in to help and says, he is trying to explain. And by the way, don't even worry, because the law allows us to adopt someone if we are giving, it's allowed to enter into contracts with the municipal councils. Anything that we think will help the people, blah, blah, blah. So we are not breaking any law. And I propose that we give Nicole a contract of running the municipality, maybe as a director general. And Mosi, who is this? Mosi says, I have no objection to that. But remember, the mandate of the people to run the municipality is vested on me. And then Nicole says, honorable gentlemen, in my view, it was not a contract. It's not contracts we need. It is not laws we need. No, it's not even new positions or offices or institutions that we need. We have enough of this. More of them will only burden our people. And that's a beautiful spirit from Nicole. She says, what are you people talking about? Who told you I'm interested in a new position? I am not interested. In fact, those things you're talking, I don't even understand. And Mosi is funny. Says, well, I didn't reject the idea of a contract. In fact, I now make a decision that we will give you a contract as the Director General of the Maracas municipality. You will be a consultant with oversight powers over all the departments of the municipality. And you will be answerable to the mayor and the mayor alone. Can you imagine? What a nasty discussion. What discussion is this they're having in front of this teacher? And then Nicole says, my apologies, your worship. That is not the change we desire. The change we desire can only come from within us. No contract, new office, or law can fix the problems we are facing. It will take a change of heart, a change of spirit among the people, and especially our leaders, to solve our problems. Remember Nicole? Nicole is a religious person. Remember, she's in charge of ethics and blah, blah, blah. And she will not even, and she also was teaching the students at some point the same things. She has repeated the same. Ramda is wondering, what do you mean? Nicole goes on to preach on and says, we need to embrace the new spirit, a new mindset of doing the right thing, of caring for one another, not just for ourselves, for being our brother's keeper, for taking responsibility for the well-being of our municipality, for being honest, of speaking the truth, for abiding by the law, or simply obeying our maker and shedding the spirit that resists the golden rule, the spirit of the beast. Can you imagine how these people are feeling when this small girl is trying to tell them about the spirit, so you doing what and all that, and the spirit of the beast? Simol can't take it anymore. He says, Bebe says, oh my goodness, I remember hearing about the beast in school. Then Simol says, I didn't know we were coming for a sermon. Yes, you are coming for a sermon. Then Nicole says, this is not a sermon. It's merely a statement of the basic principles in which stable societies are founded. Unless we resist the spirit of the beast, then there is no hope for this municipality. The prevailing spirit, the spirit of the beast, will only lead to destruction. And this is evident from the state of our municipality, even as we speak. Pastor, I agree with you, Nicole. In fact, the truth and honesty have been the hallmark of my whole political career. He's lying. But I can assure you that there is no hope for our municipality. If you expect the people to be truthful and patriotic, they are all self-centered, self-seekers. Pastor is so crazy. How does he even say those kind of things? That me, if you look at me, my leadership, remember Pastor is the one who was inciting Simon and Ted in the meeting and telling them on how in the rally, they will get people to the vote of no confidence. And now, what kind of hypocrisy is this? Then Nicole does not like what these people are saying. He says, our municipality resembles the valley of the dry bones that we read in the good book. It will be restored to life, and the bones will stand again and have life. But only when we abandon our wayward ways and turn to our Creator. Now, stylistically, that is allusion, where she's alluding from the Bible. And she goes ahead to talk about, remember the skit at the beginning of the play, where now she's talking about a future, that our municipality will stand again. It resembles the dry bones. Now where we are, everything is dead. So we are in the valley of the dry bones. But it will be restored and the bones will stand again. Remember what Alvita had seen in his future, 50 years, that so many good things have happened. And she says, therefore, we will have life. But only, it's not going to happen by magic. Someone needs to do something. We need to abandon our wayward ways and turn to our Creator. And then Mayor Mosi is actually getting frustrated and says, Madam Nicole, how can you help us? And Nicole says, only doing the right thing can help the situation in which we find ourselves in. All of us were entrusted to public offices to manage the people's affairs and lead them to prosperous future. But like a misguided helmsman, you abandoned your sales in pursuit of personal gain. This is a sharp rebuke that she's giving to the leaders. This girl is powerful. She has an opportunity to summon all the leaders in the municipality and give them a summon, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't walk out. She says, you abandoned the that cloth for the ship. You abandoned it in pursuit of personal gains. Now the vessel is dangling dangerously on the precipice. Frankly speaking, if all of you were good Samaritans and you never dipped your fingers in the public till or broke the law in any way, would you be where you are today? Would our municipality be at its present condition? That's a good one. That's a good way to end this text. With a sermon, with a statement, with a rebuke, with a correction from a simple high school teacher to the leaders of the municipality, and telling them, if only you did what you're assigned to do, if only you did what you're asked to do by the people who put you in power, we wouldn't be where we are. And now this actually goes out even to the leadership. Even we, as we study this work and look at our leaders, we keep asking ourselves, are our leaders doing the right thing? Have they abandoned the sale and pursuing their personal gains? Do we see a replica of the lives of our leaders, our ward, our county leaders, our national government leaders, our members of parliament, our county of offices? Do we see the same happening to them? Or do we see them doing things to benefit the citizens, and not amassing wealth for themselves? Remember, we were talking about the lifestyle that these people are living. They are driving cars, their lifestyle is their houses they're living in. And we know their salaries. We know how much they are paid. How do they get these things? We now know how they get these things, which is very unfortunate. So the Samaritan in itself it's satirical in nature, as we talk about the styles later. And we are saying that it's the author, the playwright, that is he has every intention to criticize, to satirize, to correct, and to challenge the leaders and let them know that you are respected better. We expect better from you. Even in our small capacities as leaders, we need to put the citizens or the people we are leading first, not to benefit at the expense of the other leaders. And of course, Nicole, her point is home. And even before they decide to walk out of the room, who comes in? It is the students who come in, that is Alvita and Montana, and they are scared. Why are they scared? There are police all over, and they have come. They want to arrest someone, and they are so scared that they don't come to arrest their teacher. But now, before even they finish up, Madame Narine, maybe that is where she was going, Madame Narine comes in with Tajo. Tajo is the inspector, Inspector Tajo, the head of National Anti-Corruption Investigation Bureau. You remember earlier at the other scene, we were talking about this, that they are checking them out, they are concerned, they are following very closely, and they want to visit them. Now they are here. And Tajo says, my apologies, gentlemen. I'm under instructions to escort all of you to the headquarters at the Anti-Corruption Investigation Bureau for clarification on a variety of issues. Wow. A commotion ensues as the other police officers walk in. Inspector Bembe staggers and almost falls as he seeks to take cover. Justice Jordan crouches under the boardroom table. The mayor tries to hide behind Nicole, while others shuffle around on their feet in confusion. That was a very interesting sight. So the harvester, moving to Nicole, says, I believe I have no matter to clarify. Then Tajo, calling the harvester, the firm authoritative voice, he says, come along, all of you, except the teacher and the young boy and girl. And they have been escorted. Tajo, accompanied by other uniformed officers, handcuff the leaders and lead them outside. And Alvita says, with her arms around Nicole's hips and looking at the men being bundled out, says, just as you said to us, mistress, you can never escape from the consequences of your actions. Yes, you can never escape. And so the meals of the gods, they are slow but sure. Justice will always come. And that is the end of our book, The Samaritan. And I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have understood something. I hope with these explanations, it makes more sense to you. I wish you well. In the next one, we'll be looking at the analysis of the themes, the styles and characterization. We may not go into detail so much, but we will look at them. So thank you so much as you continue to watch, as you continue to share, as you continue to comment and all that, as you continue to subscribe if you haven't. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the themes, the analysis of the Samaritan.